In shape, 145.
Yeah.
In shape. You know what I mean? So this is different from a Crawford coming up to 168, but we know his walk around weight is probably 170, 180.
Tank Davis, only shortcoming, pun intended, is his height. He's 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. But as you can see here, he's working on his versatility.
Terence Crawford reportedly visited Gervonta Davis.
Reports suggest that Terence Crawford recently met with Gervonta Davis before his highly anticipated showdown against Jake Paul, sharing insight on training discipline and in-ring strategy. The two elite fighters reportedly exchanged techniques and tactical perspectives, reflecting a genuine respect between them. Crawford was said to have shown strong support for Davis, commending his exceptional drive and ring IQ. He even hinted that if Tank ever wished to face him someday, he'd consider it, not out of rivalry, but to honor the sport and test greatness against greatness.
Gervonta Davis speaking about you. Is that ever a possible fight?
Yeah, if he want to dare to be great, he can be like all the other fighters that moving up 2 weight classes and, daring to be great.
You would fight him.
Man, tell him to come up there.
He got to come to win 54.
He said I got a glass chin. So tell him to come and touch it.
Ooh. Wow.
Oh, man.
Gervonta said you got a glass.
He said I got a glass chin. Tell him to come and touch it.
At 147?
At 147. I'll make 147 for him.
Ooh, see? Oh, man.
You're going to have a pre-camp.
Then what the people going to say? Oh, he's beating up on little guys.
I don't know.
It now appears that Gervonta Davis is drawing major influence from Terence Crawford, widely regarded as one of boxing's most adaptable tacticians. Crawford's preparation for Canelo Alvarez drew massive praise for his seamless stance switching, foot balance, and unpredictable tempo. Tank's latest training clips reveal a similar evolution, his experimenting with angles, dynamic footwork, and shifting stances mid-combination, a move never seen from him before. Observers think he's not only adopting Crawford's fluidity but also taking cues from Jaron Boots Ennis, a master of ambidextrous combat. This new version of Davis could catch Jake Paul completely off guard when they meet in the ring.
Right. This is scary. Gervonta Tank Davis is working on his versatility. We already know he has that ultimate equalizer, that special God-gifted one-punch knockout power. But he also can box. Gervonta Tank Davis, he's very durable, has a chin, never seen him visibly hurt. Gervonta Tank Davis also has great footwork and foot placement. And here you see Gervonta Tank Davis, only shortcoming, pun intended, is his height. He's 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. But as you can see here, he's working on his versatility. He's now working on fighting orthodox. He's naturally a southpaw. Now he's working on fighting orthodox. Great switch hitters, no diddy, in the sport of boxing.
Boxing analyst Showbiz the Adult weighed in, emphasizing that the matchup between Tank and Jake must deliver genuine entertainment. He warned that if it turns into a soft exhibition where both play it safe, the backlash could ruin their reputations overnight. According to him, fans expect aggression and authenticity, not a light spar. With both fighters commanding massive fan bases that crave action, this event must live up to the spectacle. Anything less than intensity could drain all excitement, killing the momentum and public interest instantly.
Career ending. It could be career ending. Jake Paul can end his whole shit. That's the black. Tank can end Jake Paul's whole shit. And if that fight is meh, and it's just a sparring session that's tit for tat, their shit's over. Because people gonna be pissed that it's exactly what they expected it to be. They can't do that. If they do, their career's ruined. Jake Paul career's ruined, and Tank. If they make it meh and just touch, both their brands suck. That's the black two sugars. You mess around in that bell ring, and you see little Tank, and you see big Jake, and he's throwing a jab, and little Tank making a miss, and bam! And y'all gonna be like, whoa! Say I'm lying. Y'all, you know what? Yes, say I'm lying. Please say I'm lying. But y'all gonna be right there, cheering, because you ain't never seen nothing that damn bizarre. Even Even De La Hoya versus Shaq had headgear, and Shaq ain't a boxer. That right there, fireworks. Because you're going to be holding your breath, especially Tank fans. I'm going to be like, don't hit Tank. You're going to see Tank little ass legs. You're going to and big ass Jake big legs and big ass head. Bam, bam. Watch. Y'all talk all that shit now because y'all love talking shit. Y'all love hating on things until you see it. Like women back in the 90s. I remember my sisters back in the 90s. You ain't that cute. You ain't, but all on your shit. That's what y'all do. Y'all talk shit, but y'all the first ones there.
Keith Thurman made a blunt observation about Gervonta Davis's critics. He pointed out that the same fans who constantly bash Tank are also glued to every one of his fights. They claim he's overrated, yet never miss his bouts. Thurman argued that their so-called hate actually fuels his fame, because even negative attention keeps Davis trending. Every insult, every complaint, only amplifies his presence in boxing discussions. Ironically, his doubters are the reason his spotlight keeps shining brighter.
If you're really not happy with Tank, first off, don't watch Tank. Don't do it. You know what I'm saying? You support it, then what you doing? You can't not support and support at the same time, right? So if you're a boxing purist, then this fight with Roach is really more for you. It's going to be more up your alley, you know? If you just like all entertainment, all fights, all hypes, all everything, then you're going to want to tune in to the Tank and Paul's show there, you know, because that's all for entertainment. What's it? For entertainment purposes only, right? It's just say like somewhere in the small print of the promotion. For entertainment, don't do this at home, kids. You know, sometimes.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, disclaimer. For entertainment purposes only, you know. So, you know, it's money-making purposes only. You know, it is what it is, people.
When Claressa Shields claimed that the only logical matchup for Davis would be against Shakur Stevenson, Tank didn't take it lightly. He fired back calmly but firmly, stating that no one dictates his career path but him. His message was pointed: fans should enjoy the show, not act like promoters. That response came from frustration after many supporters turned against him following his draw with Lamont Roach, calling him overrated. Tired of the noise, Davis made it clear he's done seeking validation. From now on, he fights for himself, not for anyone's approval or opinion.
And it says that, you know, pretty much the only people that can beat him is Shakur Stevenson, and I don't know who else he said. She thought that at a point in time that Devin Haney could beat him, but now she doesn't believe that. But so really the only fight that there is for Gervonta Davis is Shakur. What a mighty, mighty convenient argument. And Gervonta Davis responded, and basically his response was, "Come on, girl, stop talking about me so much because you're making me feel like I'm special." Right? So he pretty much just, you know, kind of blows it off. But I really think that there's something much deeper going on here, and it is that this. And I said it again. I said it in another video. I'll say it in this one. The Bud Buddies. The Bud Buddies are a crew of boxers that all hang around and worship Terence Bud Crawford. And the main two members of it, besides the people that are actually in Terence Crawford's camp, as fighters are Shakur Stevenson and Claressa Shields, without a doubt. Claressa Shields is a huge backer of Terence and a huge backer of Shakur Stevenson. At the end of the day, the only thing she really cares about is what's in the best interest of Shakur Stevenson. And anything and everything she say is angled that way to get Gervonta Davis to do something that Shakur Stevenson wants him to do, which is really do all the hard work and then be there for Shakur Stevenson to become a star at the end of it. I'm telling you, man, I believe that to the bottom of my soul, that is the same plan that Terence Crawford ran on Errol Spence Jr.
The upcoming clash between Gervonta Tank Davis and Jake Paul doesn't follow the mold of a traditional boxing matchup. Many experts argue that bouts like this stray from genuine athletic competition, landing somewhere between a legitimate fight and a media spectacle. What makes this showdown particularly odd is that both men are still in their athletic prime. Usually, exhibition events feature retired legends or those far past their peak, like Floyd Mayweather's recent showcases. But in this case, both fighters are active, ambitious, and still chasing career milestones. That's why this fight feels unconventional.
Fights like this with fighters pretty much in their prime. But other than the size mismatch, most people are wondering why has Tank taken this fight, and those were the first questions targeted to Tank in this presser, because usually these sorts of bouts are relegated to the latter part of your career. And for most Gervonta Davis supporters, they thought they would get the big fights next, the Shakurs. They didn't think he would be fighting Jake Paul. Although Tank tried to push it off as fans should just be happy watching the sport and hey, haters will be haters, I think that's quite unfair to the people who have been loyal supporters of him and honestly have paid his bills. He tried to compare the level of criticism he gets to the likes of Mayweather, but the difference is with his mentor Floyd, he really did fight a lot of champs in their prime. Has Tank? Well, not really. The most notable fight he's recently had that the people actually wanted was the Ryan Garcia fight, and the only reason he took that fight was because everything was on his terms. And other than the Ryan fight over the last couple years, it's either been people who aren't in his weight division, which he's pulling up, or fighters ranked in the lower half of the top 10 lightweight list. The fights people have truly wanted to see just have never materialized, and simply that's why people criticize him. If the likes of Crawford never fought Spence or Usyk never fought Fury or Joshua, they would have caught the same level of flack. The reason why fighters like them are applauded is because generally they take on whatever challenge is in front of them. Tank instead, his whole career has bobbed and weaved around the most significant challenges that the people actually want to see, unless he has everything his way.
Another major concern surrounding this bout is the extreme size gap between the two fighters. Jake Paul generally competes near cruiserweight, while Gervonta Davis operates between lightweight and super lightweight. That's roughly a 60 to 70 pound difference, something the boxing rulebook was specifically designed to prevent. Weight classes exist for safety and fairness, ensuring fighters face opponents of similar build and power. When those lines get crossed, the risk of injury and imbalance skyrockets. If matches like this become normalized,
assuming there's no rehydration clause, which I don't believe there is, he'll probably weigh around 215 pounds in the ring. That means there's a sort of a 60 to 70 pound difference between the two men in the ring on fight night, which is absolutely enormous. There are weight classes for a reason in boxing, and this is the sort of thing that is typically not allowed or permitted. And like I said in my intro, it goes to the heart of that key question in boxing, which is how big is too big? It's the reason that the pound for pound list exists, where we kind of imagine if everybody was the same size, who's the best, who's number one? And it's a debate that rages on and on and on. And so when I see a fight like this, I think the hardcore boxing fans, generally speaking, have felt frustrated by it. Yes, because we want Gervonta Davis as part of the actual sport, competing for world titles against the other elite guys in his weight class. But also because if he gets knocked out and loses to Jake Paul, it creates this illusion that Jake Paul's much better than he actually is. And so I guess the question for me is, can Gervonta Davis beat Jake Paul, or will Jake Paul simply be too massive? Can Jake Paul use his size, or will Gervonta Davis simply be too skilled? What's the answer here? And in trying to answer this, I looked to history, and there's one fight that immediately popped out of my mind, and I thought, I wonder what the size difference was there. In fact, it may even be more significant, and it was, and the small guy won. Some of you might be thinking about it right now. It's when David Haye took on the monster, the absolutely ginormous human being, Nikolai Valuev. I think it took place around 2009. So at the time, I was literally a teenager. I didn't have a clue what I was looking at, and I'd fully bought into this David versus Goliath story. But I think it's an excellent example here to draw comparisons between the Gervonta Davis-Jake Paul fight to try and understand whether or not this is a good template and blueprint to try and predict and understand what the size difference might look like in the ring. Now, David Haye was 6'3" and was 217 pounds for the Valuev fight, whereas Valuev was 7 foot tall and weighed 316 pounds.
The result of Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis will shape more than just their personal legacies. It could influence the future direction of boxing itself. If Jake pulls off a win, it might spark a wave of crossover fights blending social media personalities with pro boxers. That would shift attention away from championship bouts toward viral-driven events, where entertainment outweighs technical mastery. Audiences could begin viewing authentic boxing as slow or outdated. But if Tank dominates, it could serve as a reality check, a reminder that true skill, experience, and ring IQ still define the sport. Regardless of opinions, fans are undeniably curious. Jake's chaotic, unpredictable style attracts viewers who've grown bored of traditional bouts, and Tank's presence adds legitimacy and excitement. Together, they form a volatile mix that promises shock value and drama. Oddly enough, this fight captures the essence of modern boxing fandom. People don't just want perfection, they crave chaos, emotion, and unpredictability.
The purists hate it, the algorithm loves it, and both will watch. It's not just who wins, it's what wins. Will the entertainment value or the ring IQ come out on top? Because if Tank dominates, the meme dies. Jake Paul survives or hits it big, we see new rules are going to be written in real time. Me, you, maybe everyone at some point has been that bigger guy thinking that I'll just bully him. Jab, slip, liver shot, sent me down real nicely. Size helped until it didn't. All I'm saying is let's not dismiss something because it looks weird. Many fights get decided by the details. Feet before fists, timing before muscle, discipline before clout. Look, Tank wins if he stays Tank. He's built on patience, traps, explosive counters. That's hell for a tall guy who gets eager. Jake's long jab is the gate, but Tank's head movement is the key. Once he times it, the door's getting open and the furniture is going to get rearranged. Think locksmith versus padlock. Big padlock looks scary until the right tool clicks once. Jake throws that overhand like he's bowling with the shoulder. Effective, but you don't see it.
That wraps up today's breakdown. Don't forget to stay locked in for the next update. More explosive coverage is on the way.